So, we gotta give the NFL credit. That's a nice little pity clap. Because they are now cracking down on the illegal tackle alignment in week 2. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're finally following their own rules that they create for lining up correctly on the offensive line. Just for context, this is the play that, the guy was not lined up correctly on. And you could see, just for, if you don't know football, you don't know about, lining up correctly. You see that white line right there, right in front of 74? You're supposed to line up on that. You're not supposed to line up 5 yards off of it. Because guess what? You line up 5 yards off with it wasn't 5 yards. It was like a yard off of it. You line up a yard off of it, you're giving yourself a competitive advantage over the defense, because now the defense is a couple plays before, a couple seconds before that defender can get to, the right tackle. So that was awesome. And if you thought that was the only thing for week 1 that was kind of idiotic and, NFL, what is going on, and the NFL is a little crazy for it, let me go ahead and show you guys this sweet treat. 2nd and 4. The Saints, right? They played the Titans last week. Okay, no big deal. Okay, we got the blue line here. Okay, no. Yeah. At what point can a coach say something to a player? Now, I will say overall wise, listen, okay? In the Chiefs' defense, it wasn't that bad. In the Chiefs' offense here, in the Chiefs' case here, it wasn't that bad. If it was that bad, there would be a problem. But with how that game was going, with how the ref was not calling any of it and not stopping it, and I'm going to say this right now, the NFL at any time, because that was the only game on TV, the NFL game on TV, they could have called into the refs and stopped the game and made sure that didn't happen ever again. So anyone who says, well, at the end of the day, the NFL couldn't have done anything, yes, they can. They could call into that game and shut it down and say, no, you got to fix that. They could call in, they didn't have to shut it down. They could call in the refs on a commercial break and say, hey, refs, the right tackle is lining up off sides every single play. You can't let that happen, right? That's all they would have to do. Now, I've seen a lot of people, kind of give their feedback down below and say, well, it actually helped out the Lions, because whenever they would call this, or whenever he would line up like this, you knew they were passing the ball. So it actually helped them out. But again, it does give a disadvantage to the pass rushers, and it kept Mahomes clean the whole entire game. I mean, against the Ravens this Sunday, can we just line up Orlando Brown and Jonah Williams a yard off the line, so that, we don't have to go against Oweh or Ajabu or Justin, because, they can't get to us if we line up off the line like that. Nonetheless, though, I want to go ahead and correct myself in my last video when I talked about this subject. And some people put it down below, and I was actually incorrect when I actually named the guy. I thought he was the head of refs. He's actually not the head of refs. His name is Dean Blandino, the NFL rules analyst for Fox Sports and former NFL vice president of officiating. Which I guess technically he was president of officiating. That's technically like the head of refs, okay? Okay, maybe I was incorrect on that one. But right now, he's actually the rules analyst. He is not currently the head of refs at all. He is a former NFL vice president. I guess vice president, technically not even the president of it. He told Sports Illustrated the league sent out its weekly training tape to its 32 clubs and officials, highlighting repeated illegal formation violations from various week 1 actions. Was there actually various ones, or was it just the Chiefs? And they kind of have to make a little bit of a, reason why that the other teams did it. Because I don't think this was a legal formation, or maybe a legal alignment a little bit. The fact this is a real picture is actually baffling. I am so amazed that it's an actual real picture. On the tape this week, at the very end, there are several examples of, and a couple from, Thursday night's game with Juwan Taylor, of tackles who are too far back. That was emphasized on the training tape going into week 2, Blandino said. I would expect, just from my experience, officials watch that training tape. It's usually a very good learning tool. It's good for giving your officials directions. I would expect we will not see any examples of this that we may have seen in week 1. Okay, so again, you're telling me that the refs did not know this going into this game? Like, what? You're telling me in no way the refs, like, there's no, like, listen, okay? Because Dean Blandino, he called this out during the game. There was actually a snippet I have on the channel right now, where at one point, even, what's his name, Chris Collinsworth was like, how can he line up off, like, how can he do this, right? How can he time the snap so perfectly? How can he do all this? And yet he literally points out the fact that he was not lined up onside the whole entire game. Like, he even points that out. During an NFL broadcast, when Brian Branch got hurt, he points out the fact that the right tackle was not playing fairly. So it's like, I feel like the refs had to know this was a thing, or was happening. There's no way the refs are so, like, just out of it that they don't know that this is going on. Like, this is very obvious. The NFL knew what's going on because everyone's talking about it, and even the announcers were talking about it, right? So, listen, again, it happened, okay? Moving forward, hopefully it never happens again, right? Because I swear on everything, if we're in an AFC Championship game, and this is happening in the AFC Championship game, Bengals, Chiefs, and the whole game we can't get after Patrick because their right tackle keeps lining up off sides, I am going to Burrowhead, if it is in Burrowhead. I think it's going to be in the jungle, but wouldn't be surprised the NFL somehow, some way made it to Burrowhead. You know what? No. It's going to be in the jungle. I'm going to drive to Paycor Stadium. I'm going to put on a Bengals uniform, right? My number's going to be... I'll be 00. There's no 00 in Bengals. I'll put a helmet on, sneak in the stadium, you know what I'm saying? Line up on the edge, and I'm going to line up off sides. And when they say, hey, you can't do that, you can't line up... Wait, who are you? I'm going to say, exactly. See? Now you're pointing it out. See, that's all you gotta do, guys. That's all you gotta do. Just line up off sides, and then they'll be like, hey, you know what? That random guy has a good point here. Probably shouldn't line up off sides. No, on the real note, though, again, like I said, it is what it is. It happened. At least the NFL is actually taking some, stance on fixing the problem. They got all this public backlash now, and they're like, oh, wow. Can you imagine if you're in the NFL? Because the reason why they didn't, I'm just going to straight up say it right now. The reason why they did not fix this or stop it or, prevent it from happening was because of the fact that they wanted the Chiefs to win. And anyone who says otherwise, let me tell you one thing. Roger Goodell, right? He's a Chiefs fan. When they won the Super Bowl last year, his first statement was to Chris Jones, we did it. Okay? Can't tell me in any way that's conspiracy theory because he literally says we did it to a Chiefs player. So he is a Chiefs fan. That's known. He's been a Chiefs fan his whole entire life since he was a little kid. I'm not saying he's not a bandwagon fan. He's a Chiefs fan, okay? But that's the reason why they let it go on and they didn't stop it. Could the Chiefs, could the Lions players complain and said something? Absolutely. I don't think the refs would have done anything about it. I think if anything, the refs would have just probably flagged them for unsportsmanlike conduct. And they did end up calling it in their defense at the very last play of the game, pretty much, for the Chiefs. When the Chiefs had one last chance to try to get a first down and actually win the game. And the refs are like, you know what? This looks bad on us. Let's call it now. It was fantastic. But again, like I said, at least it's going to get fixed. At least, in the progression of the NFL here, something is going to get done. and hopefully we won't see that again. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I want to see this again. I will dress up as number. What are we thinking, guys? I can't be 85. That's disrespectful to Chad and T. 82? 83 is Boyd. I could be 82. I'll be 82. I'll dress up as 82. I'll line up off sides. And when they see me and they try to throw me out of the stadium, you know, I'll tell them and be like, hey, listen. Good job. You did good. Then they're going to hit me with a misdemeanor. But you know what? Point was proven, right? Something like that. I'm pretty sure there's something like that in there. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. What number should I be? I'm telling you right now. And this is like dead serious. If that does happen to us in the championship game, I will drive the... How long do I live away from Paycor? 35 minutes from Paycor Stadium? I will drive to Paycor Stadium. I will. And I will dress up. I will get my number. I might order my jersey now. Just in case. Just in case. I'll be out there looking like Bobby Boucher, the water boy. I'm never going to see it coming. Peace out, guys.